Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. Dun, dun. It's a raccoon with a talk show slinging culture facts you might not know. From the biggest flops to the greatest hits, this is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hello. Welcome to my bedroom. I'm Beaton, and I shall be your host for this week's very special Trash Can Tidbits. We've finally reached list number 69, and you can probably guess this is going to get a little hot. All the facts for this week are going to be on the not safe for work side, so you have been warned. But first, last week I asked the question, which actor played the Amazing Spider-Man in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions? The answer is Neil Patrick Harris. Before this, NPH played Peter Parker / Spider-Man in Spider-Man the New Animated Series, a 2003 CG series that was a loose continuation of the first movie that came out in 2002. Included among the voice cast was 90s singer Lisa Loeb as Mary Jane, TV and Sharknado star Ian Ziering as Harry Osborn, and even Michael Clark Duncan as the Kingpin, reprising his role from the Daredevil movie that came out the same year. The show was only on for one season, but NPH would later experience a career renaissance when he was cast as a parody of himself in Harold and Kumar, as well as the hit TV sitcom How I Met Your Mother. Now, with that addressed, why don't you come over here while I elucidate some sweet trivia into your ear? Yeah, that's nice. Here we go with fact number 1. Did you know that Agent 99 from the TV spy show Get Smart was originally going to be named Agent 69? Given that the show parodies James Bond and a lot of the leading ladies have rather risque names, it would make sense. But having said that, well, you know why it was changed from 69 to 99. Fact 2. Did you know that Minerva Mink from Animaniacs was originally going to be naked on the show? The animators gave her clothes when they realized that her endowments would be too distracting for the target audience, which was kids. Even when they tried giving her a uniboob, or chest fluff, instead of cleavage, it didn't work. However, a prototype naked Minerva does show up in the series in the form of an unlikely character, Slappy Squirrel. In the Buttermilk ad sketch, Slappy quickly morphs into a shapely, buxom version of herself, which is the only remnant of how naked Minerva was supposed to look. Va-va-voom. Fact 3. Did you know that all the rumors for a nude Raider patch from the original Tomb Raider game were completely false? That didn't stop some hot and thirsty guys from starting to create the myth that you could completely strip Lara Croft naked, even showing some edited photos in several gaming magazines. This actually prompted Core Design to put out a cheat code for a nude Raider in the second game, but instead of making Lara naked, it trolled the players and just made her explode into a lot of polygonal pieces. Yeah, very funny, guys. Furthermore, Eidos Interactive, the publishers of the Tomb Raider franchise, have since bought the domain Nude Raider and no longer leads to a fan site for naked Lara, but instead to a generic adult website. Fact 4. Did you know that it's possible that Nick Wilde was also going to be naked in the Naturalist Club scene in Zootopia? With all the naked animals that appear throughout the scene, it would have made sense for Nick to start taking his clothes off in order to unnerve Judy a little bit more. The scene was never animated, but the only remnant I could find of naked Nick was in a children's book, Zootopia, The Essential Guide, where it does mention Nick taking his clothes off. If you watch the film closely, Nick can be seen adjusting his tie when he and Judy exit the club, which could have been a subtle indication that he did take his clothes off. And of course, the original teaser trailer does show Nick in all his naked glory. Fact 5. Did you know that Julie Andrews once bared her breasts in a movie? Throughout the 80s, she and her husband Blake Edwards were experimenting with more adult-oriented movies such as 10 and Victor Victoria. In the 1981 film S.O.B., Andrews got to spoof her child-friendly, squeaky clean image by having her character appear in an adult film. In this film within a film, Andrews, in a flowing red dress, dances with several scantily clad dancers, and at the end of the sequence, she rips off her top, revealing her bare breasts. Mind you, she was only 40 years old at the time, and they look glorious. The hills are alive indeed. Fact 6. Did you know that Nintendo once owned a chain of hotels of the not-safe-for-work variety? You have to remember, there was a time before they hit their stride as a video game maker. Nintendo used to be a maker of playing cards, so gambling was one of their early vices. In the 1960s, one of their ventures involved them owning a chain of love hotels, where couples could get with it. Eventually, with the help of toy-making prodigy Gunpei Yokoi, Nintendo moved away from the adult-themed properties and focused on becoming the child-friendly company we know today, first making children's toys and eventually video games. Fact 7. Sticking with Nintendo for this next fact, did you know that they actually own the rights to a pornographic parody based on one of their games? In 1993, the adult film Super Hornio Brothers and its sequel were released, starring the legendary Ron Jeremy and Buck Adams. Both films were eventually bought by Nintendo in an effort to stop them from being distributed. I'm sure bootlegs exist though, so Nintendo can't really stop these movies from being totally seen 100%, now can they? Fact 8. Did you know that for the Bond movie Goldfinger, although Shirley Eaton played the famous naked golden girl, it was actually not her used in the posters and even the title sequence? That honor goes to the late Margaret Nolan, an English model and actress who also played James Bond's masseuse, Dink, in the same film. Nolan, who also appeared in A Hard Day's Night starring the Beatles, posed nude for the film's title sequence and was actually painted gold. It is in fact Ms. Nolan who is used in the Goldfinger poster and the overall advertising. Despite what Bond says in the movie about how skin suffocation is a possibility when someone is painted head to toe within the film, it's been proven that there is no such thing. Nolan used her golden touch in a Playboy spread the same year the film came out in 1964. She died in 2020 at the age of 76. Fact 9. Did you know that Metal Gear Solid 2 has an Easter egg pertaining to Solid Snake's reaction to naughty magazines? One of the items Snake can pick up is a magazine with an attractive Japanese girl on it, and these zines can be used to distract guards with their risque images. But what Snake can also do with them when he's hiding inside a locker is put the image in front of him, and with enough time, he'll start taking care of business. Oh, Kojima, you are such a trickster. Fact 10. We finally end the week with the mother of all double entendres. Did you know that the name for an iconic Bond girl was later given to the villainess of an animal parody series? Pussy Galore, the name of the most famous Bond girl of them all from Goldfinger, was very nearly renamed to Kitty Galore. Ian Fleming must have had some say in the writing process because the producers were allowed to keep the name Pussy. As we all know, the name Kitty Galore was later used for the cat villainess of the movie Cats and Dogs, The Revenge of Kitty Galore. Honor Blackman always took it in good stride and considered it an honor, no pun intended, to play the Bond girl with the most memorable name in movie history. And now here's this week's trivia question. The movie Casablanca has a collection of very memorable characters and a story of romance, intrigue, and war in the middle of the desert locale. None more so than Rick Blaine, played by the great Humphrey Bogart. Caught up between trying to remain neutral in the warring conflict and the woman he once loved, his initial mantra was, "I stick my neck out for nobody." Oh, how that quickly changes. Rick has an assortment of memorable lines, but the line, "Here's looking at you, kid," is particularly iconic. My question to you is, true or false? Humphrey Bogart's usage of the line, "Here's looking at you, kid," was improvised. And there we go for this week. I certainly hope you enjoyed my company and us getting a little dirty with the trivia. I'm totally sure you did. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring that little old bell down there to be notified for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to wash those paws.